For me, the word Jesus was just a curse word. Born again? I had never heard the word born again. I grew up hearing Adolf Hitler was a Christian. I didn't know anything. I grew up Jewish. My mom's a Jew, my dad's a Jew. Went to Shabbat services. We never missed the high holidays. I was bar mitzvahed with Rabbi Arthur Hertzberg, Vice President of World Jewish Council. And I remember one time somebody held about a 4 or 5 inch knife to my chest because I was wearing a Star of David. We had a babysitter, and one day the babysitter had us over her house instead of over our house. And I remember coming down her stairs and looking over to the left over the banister at the fireplace, and there was this picture that just caught my eye, and I said, wow, who is that? I heard her answer. It was, that's the Son of God. And I went home that day and I said, Mom, guess what I saw today? I saw a picture of the Son of God. And she said, we don't believe that. My parents divorced when I was 5 years old. I didn't realize how much it devastated me. It just created like a bunch of fissures and brokenness down in my heart, and before long, as I got older, I started to fall into drugs and other kinds of bad behavior. I started to play with marijuana at first. By the time I was near the end of my junior year of high school, I was smoking marijuana every day. And by my freshman year, I started to play with cocaine. I can remember more than once going through paralysis as I went through withdrawal. I mean, my life had just bottomed out. Greg, why don't you join the Air Force? It'll make a man out of you. And there was this pilot who would come out to my post. I'd be guarding his plane, and he would bring me a cold drink, and he would ask me questions about Judaism. I found his questions to be honoring about my background. And one day he said to me, would you like to go to church with me? And I said, well, yes, sir. But I was only being polite to him. I didn't really want to go. But one Sunday night, he came by my room in the barracks, and he says, well, you ready to go? We got there a few minutes late. We're seated way up in the balcony in the back, and this woman who's old enough to be my mother comes up to me and she hugs me. What is going on here? It was like my eyes opened somehow, and I could see this woman loved me. Whatever it is these people have, I can see it's real. And I can see they're getting it from that Bible, and I will read that book, and I will change my life to fit it, and I won't explain it away. And I start reading the New Testament, starting with Matthew. When I read this, I thought, this Jesus is Jewish. He's not Christian. What's Christian? He's Jewish. This is a Jewish book about a Jewish man. I just knew that my life had started over. It felt like somebody took a bucket of light and dumped it on my head. I was such a changed person when the Lord came into my life that the executive commander over me in the Air Force actually sent me for a psychological evaluation because I was grinning all the time. But the psychiatrist came back with the evaluation. He said, you know what, there's nothing wrong with you. We wish everybody were like you. My family, they were not happy about this. I actually think that they would have preferred that I just stayed a drug addict. I was always proud of my Jewish heritage. I loved it. But I also found that it didn't have any power to keep me from falling into, frankly, drugs and other kinds of illicit behavior. They would prefer that I stay a drug addict than believe in Jesus. Jesus had set me free. One of the happiest moments of my life was when my mom was 82 years old and she accepted the Lord. 4 years later, as my mom was on her deathbed in the hospital, she turned away, she looked straight in front of her, and I heard my mom say this, Jesus, would you take good care of my son? He's a good man.